year.
Hold on, we just had a revelation here. You still watch The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and it's still the exact fucking thing every episode.
But why?
I don't know.
No, not why is it the same. Why do you do
I
it?
ain't no quitter.
Why do you?
I ain't no quitter. Mama ain't raised no quitter.
Right.
But there are so many better things you could watch instead.
I do watch better things.
Like what? Well, I mean, like just with your time, you could spend time watching good
It's only 20
things.
minutes.
I mean, I used up an hour yesterday reading about The Big Bang Theory.
That's
and I feel like
worse.
I've been
How
reading
is that
about
worse?
all of my life.
That's worse. I put it on in the background while I do other things. It's not like I sit and actively pay attention to it. It's one of my like
Then you
background
don't really
shows.
watch it.
But I know what's going on because not much goes on. It's like a soap opera. You just need one episode to catch up.
No, I all I just want to know is if the cute autistic girl left fucking Sheldon, and she did not. So I'm upset.
She's autistic?
Yeah, obviously, everyone on that show's autistic. That show is about people who are douchebags making fun of autistic people. It's not for nerds. It's making fun of nerds. They don't know anything about nerd culture, and they just end up looking fucking stupid that entire show. It drives me insane.
No,
And it's
Sheldon's
not funny,
girlfriend
it's not
is closer to
creative.
actually being autistic. Sheldon is just an asshole who is also socially retarded.
Retarded
Like
is
he has no
strong.
actual excuse.
He's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's something, I guess. Okay, what do we want to talk about today on today's Uncut, which is maybe 67? I don't even know how the numbers work anymore. We have missed... So here's something we need to figure out. We have missed Uncuts for about 6 or 7 episodes, because Shane could only dedicate an hour at that time, so we had only the regular episodes. So does that mean I go back and I pair every episode with an Uncut? Yeah.
Thought you were gonna record fake uncuts, I guess, basically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do me and Shane have to sit down, record those uncuts, and fill in the gaps? And like,
Good luck with that.
well,
Where
that's the
fuck
thing.
is
Yeah,
Shane now?
God knows. He's probably at home jerking off. But the biggest problem that I have is like something like we did a ROFLcast reviews the Oscars, right? The 90th Oscars. But now for the Uncut, do I call that a ROFLcast reviews 90th Oscars Uncut? Because we didn't talk about the Oscars in the motherfucking Uncut. You know what I mean? So should Uncuts and regular episodes just be separate? But we, oftentimes in the episode, we like laugh. I'm like, oh, you're going to go check out the Uncut for that.
Yeah, that's true. You do that.
I don't know. I don't know what Toto. So I might just start doing Uncuts as its own thing and start releasing them periodically when I get the chance.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
More videos going up, more chance of viewers.
Sure. And that, but the thing is the naming and stuff will be a little off because like there's something nice when you have a like a mixture between that episode and having its own Uncut because they'll reference each other sometimes.
Yeah, true. I don't know. You're in control.
See, I even like the idea of going back and me and Shane listening to those old episodes and then doing an Uncut, making fun of ourselves from a couple years ago.
That's a good idea.
I think it's fun too, yeah. So there's a few different things you can do.
Nail him down to do it.
Yeah, the only way I want to nail him down is like Jesus, in which case he dies, basically. Okay, so let's start off the Uncut with the happiest news we have today. United Airlines murdered a dog. Yeah, you have to talk about it. Kayla, this is on you, girl. You got this one. It's on you.
I hate talking about stuff like this because it's just so much stupidity. Like, there's so much fucking stupidity. I don't understand who in their right mind would tell somebody to, first of all, put a dog up in the overhead bin.
That one's
Second
crazy,
of all,
yeah.
who, like, I don't so much blame the owner because for me, I was like thinking about the dog dying. I was like, did it suffocate? Did it hit its head? Like, how the fuck did it die up there? Can you not breathe? I mean, that's not something that you would know as a normal person who just flies.
Oh, you've never traveled in an overhead compartment? Well, someone's rich and famous.
Well, what happened to the dog? How did it die?
I don't think that's come out yet. It's just basically what happened is the woman got on, and I guess the dog crate, whatever the dog was in, the bag was kind of poking out into the feet are, the foot room or out in the aisle or something. So the flight attendant comes up to the woman and says, "You can't put that there. You have to put it in the overhead bin, and the woman had a 13-year-old daughter and a baby and all that stuff. So she was just like, well, no, like, you're allowed to take your dogs on flights. This is something she paid for. Like, it's not like she just said, surprise, I have a dog. Like, you pay $50 to take your dog onto a flight.
Mhm.
So they knew that. They saw the dog before she got on the flight. Like, they knew the dog was coming. They should have realized that the bag was too big or something. So instead of being like, put the dog maybe in your 13-year-old daughter's lap like a baby, because that happens sometimes too, especially if it's like a therapeutic animal, you can do that, I think.
Okay.
But the lady says to put it in the overhead bin. So the mom, thinking probably that, okay, that should be fine. Like, what's the difference up there than underneath the seat?
Oh, there's a big fucking difference.
I know. I'm just like, I'm trying to process like the thought process, because like I would have been like, you can go fuck yourself. My dog is either going in my arms or under the chair. Fuck you. Like,
It's like, yeah, bitch, she'll take
Does the
your
man
seat.
pick you up? Was this after takeoff or before?
No, this was before takeoff.
Okay.
So like, it's a live animal. Like, I don't comprehend how. And now United is coming out saying that the airline stewardess didn't understand that there was a live dog in there.
How can you not?
Like, what the fuck did she think was in the crate? A dead dog? Like a stuffed animal? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just now they're trying to cover their asses. But the story came out because somebody else brought it up, not the person whose actual dog died.
To be fair, don't you guys travel with your stuffed animals in animal carrier crates so people don't think you're a weird adult that requires a support animal like that?
No.
No,
I don't.
No one else does that?
No, I'm a boy.
Yeah,
Stuffed
me
animals
neither.
are
That would be
secret.
weird. That would be super weird.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm
like
not a
that's my
kid.
thing. Like when you have a bin that carries a dog on a plane, like you know what it is. It doesn't just look like a fucking backpack. Like it looks like a soft dog carrier. It's exactly what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the picture of it, like that's what it looks like. It looks like a dog carrier. You're telling me this woman who has worked with this airline for however long doesn't know what a fucking dog carrier looks like?
Yeah, but she could have thought the thing was empty if the dog was already dead. Think about it.
No, there's no excuse for that. And
But-
mishearing it, like it just, I don't get it. I don't get how you mishear that.
Yeah.
No, how's the hamster thing different?
Well, the hamsters aren't like animals that
Because-
require a ton of oxygen. Dogs require as much oxygen as we do. We're
But
larger
also, you
mammals.
say, no, I'm not flushing my hamster down the fucking toilet. Take it off the plane and do something with it. Like,
No,
Give it
no,
to
this was before she could get on the plane.
I know, but she could have given it to someone or like to somebody in charge to take away. She didn't have to flush the hamster down the
They
toilet.
aren't liable to deal with your stuff. So let's say you want to take a knife on a plane, and you're
So
going to
I would
secure-
just let it loose in the airport and then hope for the
which they
best.
can't allow
Outside.
either, right? Like they're in a bit of a weird
Yeah, but to
predicament.
flush it down the toilet?
Well,
First
'Cause
of
her
all, that's just
rationale
bad
was
for the
to-
toilets.
no, her rationale was to mercy kill it quickly as opposed to letting it like get run over or like eaten or something.
So you drowned it?
Yeah, I don't know. Because couldn't you just say, hey, fuck you, I paid for a ticket, this doesn't break any rules?
Yeah, I feel
Why
like you
does no
could.
one ever stand up and say that?
No, I think they
Yeah.
do, but they get pushback from the airlines, and they're so concerned about traveling that they have no recourse.
Yeah, and I mean, depending on how much her ticket costs too, like that's also like a hard thing. Not everybody just has fucking money they can throw out for plane tickets. It's expensive to fly.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I still blame the airline for that instance too, because if they didn't want the hamster to be allowed on the plane, they should have done something with it instead of telling this woman to deal with it.
Because they
Flush it down
told
the
her
toilet.
previously it was okay like 5 times.
Yeah, like stop telling people that things are okay when they're not. That's why your rules need to be outlined instead of just super vague. If you
Or
go onto
make
any
sure
airline's
all your-
website, it's vague.
Make sure all your employees actually know your rules instead of making up their own.
Yeah, because some of them are just dumbasses who should not be in that sort of position. Especially telling you to put a live dog in an overhead bin.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy thing to do, no doubt. Like,
makes me so mad.
Just
What
the-
if it was like, hey, your baby's too fat?
yeah,
Assume
put
you're
it
the
in
fat
the
baby.
overhead bin.
but that's one thing that concerns me is that, like, has this woman never run into that instance before? And why didn't any of the other passengers or flight attendants say something?
I don't know.
Because on a plane, as far as I understand, on a plane, everyone minds their own fucking business.
All right, well, that's
No
fucking
one
gay.
really. Everyone is just wants to get through it.
I don't want them to get through it though.
I don't know. It's just messed up. Like if her bag couldn't fit on the plane, they should have told her that before she got on the plane. Like they look at your bags, they see what you're taking, they watch you go on the plane. It's not like you're just secretly hiding and then you show up on the airplane. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
If she had 3 seats, and she had a baby and a kid, then she couldn't they just push the dog further in?
I don't know
under
what
the
is going
seats?
on with that sound.
But you know, if
Well,
like the edge of the
Typically,
bag
when you
was-
have a baby, you don't have a seat for the baby unless
Oh.
you buy it. So
Yeah,
I don't know
if
if
you're
she
a
bought a
pussy.
seat. Typically, you have the baby in your lap. That's what I was saying. Like the 13-year-old daughter could have had the dog in her lap, like a baby.
They have
Which
that
you're
to a
not
certain
allowed to
point
do,
though. Yeah. It's supposed to be unsafe if you carry the animals or people like that, so they recommend against it. Up until a certain age, they have to travel on your lap though.
Yeah. So like, and it was a puppy. Like it's not a huge dog. Like it was just it's a French bulldog puppy.
Mhm.
So
That's a psychopath would do that. Like it's actually like a really, really crazy thing that they would go out of their way to put that animal like that. Like that's fucking insane.
like especially like you don't know how much turbulence is gonna happen. Like I don't know if the dog could even breathe up there. Like the story is that they heard the dog barking and barking and barking for like a half hour, then it was
Yeah.
quiet, and then it barked when some turbulence happened, and then they didn't hear from it anymore. But like
Oh my
another thing
God.
is like why wouldn't
If
you
it
keep
barks, can't you
checking on the
open up
dog?
and check? Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like why wasn't this dog checked on during this flight? Like you can stand up during the flight as soon as you're up in the air.
But if there was turbulence, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, that dog probably just got rattled to death. Like it just got
Yeah.
shook to death. And it
and
was probably
especially if
crying
there
for
was
help.
other luggage up there too, right? Like
Oh,
that's the other
totally.
thing that I don't know. Like,
They
it's just
always tell
fucked
you
up.
when they open the overhead bins, be careful because items may have shifted while you were in flight.
Yeah.
Oh,
But now they're
God.
trying to say that the stewardess didn't understand what she was saying. Like you watched her put it up there. There's no way the dog didn't make any sounds and you didn't know what was being put up there. Like there's
Not
no
only that, the
fucking way.
weight of putting it up there would have been like, hey, this is
Yeah,
fucking
like
heavy.
a French bulldog puppy is the size of some adult dogs, like
Oh,
adult small
God.
dogs. Like
They
French
killed
bulldogs
a
are
French
not small.
bulldog puppy. That's the animal they killed.
Yeah.
Oh God, I want
right?
to die.
That makes it even worse.
That makes it a million times worse somehow.
I know. It's just their faces.
That's fucking heartbreaking.
so
So,
ugly.
what
I
should the
love that.
recourse be for the actual airline itself?
I don't know, man. Fire that stewardess?
I mean, if we've learned anything, anytime an instance happens where a pet dies, usually nothing happens to the airline.
But what
They
should?
give them like a free ticket or something.
What
I don't
should?
know. I mean, you've killed an animal. Like you've actually let an animal die
Okay,
in your
what
care.
do they do when a cop accidentally shoots someone's pet?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, then-
Actually, cops
They
are
don't even
known
do
to.
stuff when cops shoot people. Like, what do you want?
I was watching a documentary about this, where cops are like known to go out of their way to murder people's dogs as a way of like getting at people to like try to psychologically break them, basically when they raid their house.
Sounds
'Cause-
like a movie.
Even doesn't
is
matter.
this in this country or the other one?
It's in the other
Bro.
bad one to the south. It's funny the way that we refer to America is where America refers to Mexico, and I bet in Mexico that's the way they refer to Guatemala.
What you're saying is we need to build a wall between us and America.
Yeah,
Got
but
it.
luckily it can be an ice wall like in Game of Thrones. It'll look real fucking cool.
Woo!
Although I think they want the White Walkers on the other side of the wall. They want the Brown Walkers on the opposite side. So the
sand
analogy is
people.
the sand walkers. What were the sand people in Game of Thrones? Why am I like Dornish?
Yeah,
The sand
Dornish.
snakes, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why were they known
I
for
meant-
gardens
I meant
and
from a
sand?
smoke. I meant the Tuscan Raiders, but okay.
Which is weird because they filmed that in Tunisia and they're like, you know what we should do? Put like slightly more leather on their faces and call them aliens. And then we'll just like mock them and their culture. And they're like, perfect. And it went over really well. So okay, let's decide on ROFLcast decides what the recourse is for this event. So we believe that there should be reprimand for the stewardess, that she should be fired. Do we all agree on that?
I don't know. Like,
You don't think she should be fired for this?
Yeah, you're right. She should.
Because,
She
like,
totally should be
in
fired.
that situation, she technically has a position of authority, right? Because she basically is holding your seat over your head.
Yeah, and if we've learned anything, if you don't do what the airline
analogy.
says, they punch you and drag you off the plane. So, with that being
Yep.
said,
And if you resist them, you can get charged for resisting arrest.
yeah, exactly. Which
Are
is
we, are we
absolutely
not
insane.
on a consensus here that she should be fired?
She should be fired. Yeah, and also they should reimburse them for that puppy because it was probably fucking expensive.
I believe they did reimburse for the puppy.
Like the amount that they paid for the puppy, and also the emotional damages for that poor 13-year-old girl.
See, that's where we get into the next point. Should this go to a civil litigation court?
If it was me and it was my dog, I would. I would absolutely.
I'd sue the shit out of that airline. Are you kidding
Like,
me? That's like
so
losing a
hard.
family member.
Exactly. And there's, it's just a dog. It's like, not to some people. To some people, like, dogs are their everything. And I get that.
Those people
mean,
that you go ahead.
If it's just a dog, you wouldn't have to fucking pay for its space on an airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
It costs
if
more
it-
than
yeah.
luggage.
Mhm.
It does actually.
When transporting live animals, there needs to be better regulation. So I think
Oh, for
not
sure.
only should this go to a civil court, but there should be some sort of like law passed about animals in transit to provide their safety.
Yeah.
Or like a TSA internal investigation or something.
But how often do those yield any type of results?
I don't know.
Something needs to be done, especially when it comes to animals. Because what was I looking at? It said 24 animals alone have died in like the past 6 months or some shit like that.
What?
Like,
Are you kidding
Maybe
me?
the year. Yeah, 20. I should find that. I had it. Hold
So
on, let
okay,
me
there's a
look at
lot of
that.
flights, to be fair, but not a lot of animals on flights. I think people are still relatively scared or finicky about doing that. And for that many to happen in the United States is pretty fucking insane, even considering the amount of flights that they have, which means there's probably one per carrier at least, right?
Yeah. 24 animals died in the care of U.S. carriers last year. 3/4 of those, 18, died while being handled by United. Of 15 reported injuries, 13 occurred with United alone.
What? Okay, so United is
Wow.
clearly an egregious offender when literally 86% of all the accidents that happened that have the animals in the staff's care has been their fault. So I say take United to court. I say have that person fired. I say new laws that protect animals in transport, which means they can't be stored in overhead bins. If it means that people are required to buy an extra seat for their animal, that might be what will have to happen. And that's unfortunate. And there's also the issue of keeping animals in the seats instead of carriers. There's people with allergies and stuff like that. It's hard to clean. There's dander. I mean, it's just so tricky to travel with
But what if
pets.
you have a hypoallergenic dog? Then, I guess you can't get into semantics that way.
So,
But like, I
yeah.
agree. Like, if somebody has an allergy to an animal on an airline,
Mhm.
this should be all like, you put it in when you buy your ticket that you're carrying a dog. So this should all be known about before anyone gets on a plane. And if somebody has a severe allergy, I agree.
You take your Claritin before you get on the plane.
Yeah, but just
It's
like
not that
people
simple
are allergic
sometimes.
to perfume and assholes still put that on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I
You
find
know,
people's
it's-
perfume gives me headaches. I'm not allergic to it, but I hate it.
Yeah, especially when they like cover themselves in it. Ugh.
Do you remember in high school, guys used to like use Axe body spray? Like it was.
No, I didn't hang out with those people.
Oh, you mean boys?
I remember guys who would use Axe body spray and combine it with a lighter.
Oh yeah, totally. We used to do that too in the halls. It would fucking reek. We also do this thing called like Axe bombing. So because the marketing campaign was so effective during like the mid 2000s, early 2000s for Axe body spray, every teenage boy that who had family and friends who had no idea what to get him for things like Christmas or birthdays would get one of those like hygiene kits. Like, oh, boys are smelly. They need this shit. And that's the way they advertised it, right?
Pretty
So these cans, everyone would have at least 3 or 4 of them. So we used to do this thing called axe bombing, where the vents in the lockers, we would put a bunch of cans up to the vents in the lockers and unload the can in that person's
Oh
locker.
my god, what is wrong with you? You've always been an asshole.
Well, it's been a bit of a bully. But I only bullied the bullies. I am the Robin Hood of bullies. I never picked. I am. I never picked on the losers. I always took the underdog side, and that I've stayed true to that my whole life. And that's why me and Ray are friends. I'm just kidding.
I just realized I've
Yeah.
never dated anybody who wore Axe body spray. I feel like that's a huge accomplishment in my life. Like, I'm really proud.
I mean, considering the amount of guys that you
I
fuck, that
should
is an
date
accomplishment. I mean, your sample size is so large. You think
Hey,
you'd run
man.
into one.
In terms of Fort McMurray, I'm practically a virgin. So
You could have
don't
sex
even
with
get me
25 people, and still, by Fort McMurray standards, you're a virgin.
started. That's so many.
Is it?
I'm a prude. Let's not even get started.
Oh, me too.
like everybody is shocked when they learn how many people I've slept with. They're like, really? I'm just like, I'm a serial monogamist. How do you guys think?
Wait,
I've
hold
slept
on,
with
hold
all
on.
these people?
Wait, what's the number then?
None of your business.
Why are people so
Then why would you
incredulous?
brag about it?
Well,
You
I'm not
never
in
opened
double
that
digits.
up.
I'll say that I'm not in double digits. So
Oh, okay then.
pretty good. Pretty good.
Let me know when you get to 9, because I want to be your 10th.
Oh, do you?
Well,
Number
she
10
at
is the
9.
one.
Well, she is at 9.
Oh shit! Time to get
Candles.
started. Yeah, I'll get those candles. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna die alone. Well, I have a problem. Every time I put my dick in something, I get an emotional attachment. I don't know why.
It's like a
Oh.
thing. It's chemical. It's not your fault.
I
Yeah.
don't know how you
Okay.
cut that off, buddy. I don't know. Like, gotta get a scalpel heated up on the stove. Like, just slice those attachments.
You just need to date somebody who's emotionally dead inside, like you.
Oh,
well,
so a whore.
there are so much bad advice going on and weird analogies. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I was
whore.
joking, you guys. Jesus Christ.
So am I.
This is bringing out the darkest side of you people.
We're just learning from you.
You're not learning anything from me, and don't you ever dare accuse me of that.
I learned it from you.
Don't you dare accuse me of educating anyone.
You taught me, Dad.
Yeah.
What is it with girls that like children that they're really slutty? Do you think that there's like a correlation there?
Girls
Yeah,
that like
because they wanna
children are
become a
what?
mom.
Are
They want to become a mom, and so they want as big of a sample size of
As many chances as they can get.
Yeah, but they're not trying to get
Exact-
pregnant. They're not poking holes in condoms. Those are the nester girls. Those are girls like, oh, I've only slept with one other person. You're like, okay, maybe I can get you started on the
If I
path
get
to.
her pregnant, I'll keep you forever.
And then you find them later poking holes in your condoms because you notice it when the light reflects off it differently when you're about to put
That's
it on.
fucking terrifying.
It happens.
You're talking about like kindergarten teachers who wear thongs and shit, right?
So I've dated a lot of
What?
teachers, and my super hoe of an ex, like from way back, is a teacher, and she's the biggest hoe I ever met. And I've kind of noticed like these girls that like love children that have like this affinity for them. They kind of have a promiscuous side because like the amount of teachers that I've dated that have been straight up hoes is 3. But I haven't dated that many people seriously, so that's a
Wait,
lot
3
by
out
my
of what?
standards.
3 out of what? 3 out of
It's like a
how many?
90% ratio.
Do you guys want to go through my major relationships? Okay, let's see. So my first one was in kindergarten. That one lasted 4 years. The one after that
Wow.
was in grade 6,
Wow.
and that one lasted.
You're worse than me.
That one lasted 6 years through
I'm
like high
surprised
school
your teacher didn't get caught.
with
I
different
always
girls in
waited
between
till
there.
high school.
Well, the girl I dated in high school actually started dating in grade 6, so it's like or 4, one of the two. It was a long time before that, so it was kind of a weird, long term on and off again relationship. Then after that, it's all blur because alcohol got involved. So we did good. We got 2, so we did pretty good. And honestly, I don't even remember the second one that well. The ex-girlfriend rather, that I remember the most of all of them was my first one. Her name was Lindsay. She had dark hair and blue eyes, which is apparently a thing for me. She was taller than me, which also apparently is a thing for me. Almost every girl I've dated has been taller than me. And I'm not even like an overly short person. I'm 5'10".
No,
I'm not a short guy. But I just dated like girls that are 6 feet tall for some reason. And She loved
It's okay,
100.
I get it. I like tall men, so I get it.
Oh, that's why we're not together. And then
Please.
I'm sure there's like way more reasons. I honestly didn't think height played into it. Now that I'm looking at it, I didn't think it was like a height issue. I thought it had everything to do with my looks. I thought it was just face and personality.
6 feet and over. 6 feet and over, man.
Jesus, I wasn't even getting.
I like to feel small.
I wasn't even getting to the table to get rejected with my face and personality. I was stopped by my height earlier. My height
What can I
is
say? I'm a superficial bitch.
well, I'm okay with that because you're a wonderful podcast co-host and a great host last week. You fucking took the reins all day. I listened to it. It was amazing.
I'll do better next time.
You will do better.
I was caught unawares.
You were, and the fact is, I sprung it on you last second. The kind of the way that girls will do to you when you're emotionally unavailable, and then you rolled with it, which is something that people need to learn to do. Yeah,
I blame my acting experience.
that could be it. I think public
Improv.
speaking is a skill that needs to be developed, and that's why I'm encouraging Raymond to do his own solo show where he just talks for an hour. And he's scared to do it. Maybe brings in guests once in a while. You know what you do? You just do your podcast at a comic book store. People will ask you about it and you'll be like, yeah, you're welcome to join me. I'm here every 4 days. And then you'll make friends that way.
I don't know if stores.
I don't care if you know.
You just
Also,
do it.
I know.
Also, I'm great at public speaking.
You
I'm not
are.
good at personal speaking.
What the fuck does that mean? You're not good at talking to yourself? Is that what that means?
I am.
Like in a small hushed room. In more intimate settings, I do better with less personal settings than intimate ones.
So you'd rather be in a crowd of 500 people than in front of 4 or 5 people?
As long as I'm in control.
Oh, you're a control freak. Good to know.
No, it just means well, obviously, if I can't manage the situation, obviously, even a crowd situation would be untenable. But if I know what I'm gonna say, I'm directing the crowd's feelings. So
works. You can do it with a prepared speech, but let's say you had to go up and impromptu speak in front of these groups. Like if someone was like, Ray, I know you weren't expecting to come up here and speak in front of this 2,000 person wedding, your sister's wedding, but come up and say a few words about growing up with her. How would you respond in that situation?
Well, I don't.
Okay, great. No, we know. We just learned how you would act in that situation. Exactly. Fucking silence. Fucking stunned
No, I don't
silence.
think I'd be completely unprepared. I mean, I think I would know the possibility.
Would you say "I mean" a whole bunch of times during that time? There it is. I knew you wanted to say it. I knew you wanted to. I think that.
No, I think I'd be all right.
So you think, but you haven't put yourself in those situations. So the best thing that you can do, well, you have been in those situations before. I mean, remember when we went to the honey badger party where all the honey badgers were there after the.
Yes.
Yeah, and you spoke really well there. You kept calm. You interjected at the right time with the right facts. I was really impressed with the way you handled that crowd.
Yeah.
So I know that you have that ability. I would like you to see you develop that ability even further. And that's I did a lot of stuff on my own. Before I would do before ROFLcast was a bit more prepared and I had a bunch of notes and jokes and stuff and I'd worked them out a little bit more. Back when the show was better is what I mean. But no, I mean,
wow.
I took off time from, and I'd write a lot. I wrote on Facebook and stuff. So I took time off of writing to paint. And I realized I'm never going to be a good painter. So I'm going to go back to writing because I'm comfortable with never being a good writer because it's a little harder to tell. Being a bad painter, people know immediately. I'm just kidding.
Unless you're a child, because then they can only compare you to other children.
Hey,
yeah,
man,
which is
some
unfair.
Parents are cutthroat.
They are. I actually know what I do that same metric. If a kid produces something, I do. I poop. You know, I used to be scared to talk about that. I wouldn't even say the word POOP. I could even talk about the subject. It made me so grossed out.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like that until I was maybe 30.
So
up until I was 45, and Up until my late 60s, I had this issue.
And now you're 80.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I'm still dealing with it. Is what I'm trying to say. I had my high school.
Getting a colostomy
Stop
bag.
saying doo doo.
That's a possibility, man. It's scary. Anyone could get one of those, dude. Especially you. You know why? Because God hates you.
Big poops? Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I mean, if you didn't take big poops, that'd be more of an issue than actually taking bigger poops. Ray, how many times do you put yourself in situations where you're forced to interact and deal with strangers?
Are we going from before the past year or including the past year?
I want to talk about the last 6 weeks.
This is a therapy session.
Yes, it is. I went to therapy recently. It was very good for me.
When was the last time?
Therapy is amazing for people. I should go.
Twice? 3 times? 3 times, I guess? 3?
How did those situations, how did they go in your mind?
But if they're all with the same people, they're not really strangers after 3 times, are they?
No, but you met with people that were strangers, and then you saw them second and a third time. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so how was the first meeting compared to the third meeting? Like, if you were to rate your level of comfort on a scale from 1 to 10, how did it change from the first to the third meeting?
I don't know, from I guess to a 5 or a 6 from a 0.
Oh, so you were not comfortable. Like that initial meeting of strangers makes you really uncomfortable.
Yeah, but like at the end of the night, it felt slightly better.
Okay, so
But,
over
to
over
a
time.
2.
Mhm.
At the end of the night, it went to a 2, but by the second, third time, it was like 5 or 6.
What are some things that people do, like actions, things they say, the way they talk or interact with you, that makes that number go up, your comfort level go up?
Give me good setups for jokes.
No.
No.
Oh no, I know, I get it. That's the joke. I was trying to make a joke there. Okay, so if they tee you off with stuff that you can riff off of, that makes you more
Yes.
comfortable. What else?
I don't know, because that's my primary mode of interaction with people. Like,
So you feel that you're best when you're making little quips, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think that comes from an urge to make them is your motivation to make them feel more comfortable or to make yourself feel more comfortable when you're making jokes? I'm going to have to use the
laugh, but I want everyone else to laugh too. So I don't know.
You just want to create a
But I
sense
don't
of
know if
camaraderie.
I think actively about comfort.
Okay. It's your natural kind of reaction because you feel like, okay. Now, what are some things in those instances when you meet people that they do or how they respond to you that would lower your comfort level?
Touch his butt.
Whoa.
Is rape part of
I
it?
guess that.
I guess rape.
I said touch, not penetrate. Get
You know what?
yourself
Rape is
together.
a broad spectrum, and anytime you violate someone's personal areas,
No, it's
that is rape.
not. It's not a broad spectrum.
yes, it is. It's like autism.
if I can't register attempts to include me in some way.
Okay, so if you are feeling left out or feeling ignored, that lowers your comfort level.
Half the time, because the other half, I might be like, well, if I make a brassy ballsy enough joke, people will start including me.
So that's interesting because there are different types of people in those regards, right? Some enjoy not having the attention on them, and some do enjoy. I think you're kind of in the middle there. I think you like to be included, but you don't want to be the star. Is that a fair assessment? Or would you like to be the star?
I think I want to be the star, but it has to be on my terms.
Okay. Now, I put all this information into a Psychology Today engine to determine what
What,
your...
is this fucking real? Like what?
So,
Describing like
Ray,
Skynet or
what's
some
your height?
shit. 5'9", 5'8"?
And you're 190
Damn it, I'm
pounds?
still the shortest.
I am the last.
You don't
time I
have to
checked,
say it. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is really interesting. So, according to research, while evaluating the parameters of what you have done, it looks like you are a massive faggot. That's what this
I knew
says.
you were gonna say that.
It says you're a faggot. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
one.
You guys, I did not know that was a medical term.
Oh, how do you cure it? Is it terminal?
It's terminal, and there's no cure. They say you have 3 weeks to live because you'll commit suicide for being a faggot. Hey guys, by the way, when we talk about faggots, we're not talking about it in the offensive way where we're trying to degrade anyone for, how they were born. We're talking about gay people, and that means bad. Right, guys?
No.
No, we're not. Come on! Come on! No, honestly, Ray, I think by talking to you in this, by being the center of attention, you're good at managing people, and you like to do it on your own terms. I have an idea. How about have your own fucking podcast, you moron?
Wow.
Yeah! I just psychologized you, nigga! What up now?
I mean, you listened to the
Take
one
that.
episode of 10 Shenanigans where
Yeah, I did.
about Big Hero 6,
Shenanigans.
and like I was on point with
You were
that.
great
I
on
was
that.
always on point with that podcast, but like fucking, I don't know.
So,
I don't have enough chutzpah
chutzpah.
chutzpah to just run a solo thing.
So buy some on the black web.
Whoa, why'd it gotta be
Buy
black?
some friends on the deep net.
Yeah. That's where you get chutzpah.
I told our new super hot secretary today that I'd pay her $100 to be my Facebook girlfriend to make exes jealous.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I made a joke about
But
that.
I just want to know how hot she was.
She's insanely hot, and she was like,
Nice.
"Oh, why would you have to pay me? Who says I wouldn't want to date? I wouldn't want to date you." I'm like, "No, I know you'd want to date me. I wouldn't want to fuck you."
Wow.
And then I walked away. So we're gonna see how good her sense of humor is real
that's
soon.
A lie.
No, I swear. Oh
No
God,
way.
I
This is
swear.
what they call negging. I've read about it. /r/incel. I've read about this.
Yeah, no, it works apparently. Like,
I stopped reading Cosmo magazine, so I don't know how anyone does
Oh,
it anymore.
please, like negging doesn't work on you. Yeah, I'm like, hey, you're a dumb bitch. Like, oh God, daddy, tell me more.
Ew, I would never call anyone daddy, first of all. Second
Neither
of
would I.
all, I'm not that hard up yet. Just give me another year.
Then I'll call you whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Now for the Ray Radiation Raycast,
Wow.
what would, if you had to do one, what would your topic be about?
Porn.
No.
Deep
Porn's
fakes?
not interesting, really. Like,
And why have we talked about it almost every Uncut?
it's a subject that has a lot of range, but there's no depth.
It came up because actually it was weird because porn was just
Porn itself.
in the mainstream news by happenstance. Also because I was super lonely and watching a bunch of porn lately. So,
Aw, muffin.
by the way, speaking of watching a lot of porn, I was getting drunk live streaming the other night for Overwatch. And I finished my games at a bad one, so I turned off. You know what? I'm going to tug one out. But I already did that earlier in the day. So I was looking up some freaky shit, like some real dark shit. You can tell I've never looked it up before because it like was asking me suggestions. Like all my suggested videos are one thing, and I'm like, I'm going to look up black schoolgirls and like Japanese game shows and shit. And I was live streaming. I was live streaming all of it.
No.
All of it. Guess when I got my peak?
Bullshit.
Guess when I got my peak viewers? When I got to the worst category. You know the one.
Yeah.
Interracial. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, I went down a bit of a dark hole. And listen, we've all done it. It was, but this one, I was like, this is particularly
I've never
embarrassing.
live streamed it.
Yeah, this is like first time being alone in a while. I'm gonna go down a particular dark black hole, and I made a huge mistake of getting the most viewers I've ever had while doing this. So someone just saw me open up 500 tabs of porn and jerk off because my mic was on. You can for sure hear it because I was not quiet.
So you're a cam girl now.
Oh my God, I am a cam girl.
Were you
Oh,
not checking
no.
the Twitch chat?
No, I wasn't. I had my OBS streaming. I didn't have Twitch
I feel
open.
bad for you, but it's so funny.
Wait, you're not fucking around. This is real.
This 100% happened. No, wait, no, this is a, hold on, wait, this is a joke, because people can still find those videos maybe.
No, did you export it as a broadcast? Like, is
Yeah,
that archived?
I deleted the archived video.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean everyone else did.
They could have just screen capped it.
Maybe.
Oh
You
my
never
God.
know.
No
Did you
one.
hide your face? You gotta hide your face.
I was watching the analytics, and one person came in at 12 and watched for 15 minutes, then left. And they came back again at 12:15, watched for 5 minutes, and left. And then came
Round
back
2.
again at 12:45, watched for 1 minute, and left. Because at first they're like, "What the hell is he watching?" And then like kind of like looking at it and like getting into it, like, "Oh, this is okay." And then they're like, "Okay, I'm finished." And then they came back, and then it got like really dark, like a bit darker, and they're like, "Oh, this is kind of weird. Maybe I'll come back later." It went back to normal, and they see how dark I got near the end, and they're like, "Oh, I can't be here. These videos might be illegal."
Well, at least you weren't alone.
Oh God, that is embarrassing.
Silver liner.
So I only have like 10 followers on fucking Twitch, which means it was either my ex, an SJW that I did writing with, yeah, mostly girls like that I've like met on Twitter or like whatever, right? Like it's not someone knows. Somebody knows.
Someone knows all your secrets now.
God damn. I was talking about it because I was hoping it was Ray. Like, he's the type to do that. And I thought he might be too shy to say anything, but no. No, the mystery continues.
Damn it.
I mean, it could have been.
Imagine you just broke up with
he
a chick.
does black out. He may just not remember.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just break up with a chick and then she sees you typing black on white porn and then looking and then going back to the top and then typing white on black porn to see if that's a thing. You know, like maybe
And then she sees you type black on right side of face.
vitiligo porn.
Yes.
And then I also was looking at certain videos because I wanted some MILF mixed in because I was looking at like a lot of the newer porn stars are a bit too young looking for me, and I don't mind like an older woman. So I was looking at some MILF porn, but a lot of the most common MILF porn right now is mommy porn, and
Why?
I don't have that. I don't have that issue. I was raised by all women. I was raised by my aunt, my grandmother. My mom even said hello to me a couple times during my life. But I don't like have that
small penis humiliation. That's what you'll find.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they're all greatly shot, like, well-lit POV films, right? With, like, some of the better actresses. So if you open up 4 windows, have them split screen on your dual monitor, and you have audio from one going, that's like a regular, you know, property rental sex, and then you have the POV ones for the weirder ones, but you have them on mute, then it's okay because you don't have to hear the weird storyline, just hot girls getting railed. You don't know, it's all POV. But because I had those things, you know, like, there's a bunch of jumbled audio because I might have been playing 2 videos at once, but like the people that may have saw my stream probably thought I was just looking for that stuff. You know what I mean? But I wasn't paying attention to titles. I'm looking at the thumbnails. And I'm just scrolling through and opening a bunch.
I hope you never get into politics, my friend, because you're screwed.
Oh, I was screwed.
Well, the titles don't mean anything because half of them are just meant to do SEO and just capture clicks.
Well, see, the thing is, I mean, first of all, I couldn't get into politics like way before. This is way more shit out there. That's way worse than this. And it was just extremely embarrassing if it did happen, which it definitely didn't. You shouldn't look into it.
I won't, so you're okay. I didn't even know you had Twitch.
Yeah, well, by the way, everyone,
now I do.
follow me on Twitch. And it wouldn't have happened either, because I usually record from my laptop. But this time I was recording from my desktop, and usually what I do is I stream just the game. So I use the software of the game to stream specifically from that. But this one I was streaming my desktop because I changed the settings to do the podcast. And then I got...
Blame the podcast.
I know. And by saying I got fucked, I mean, that's so unfair, because if I did get fucked, I wouldn't be looking at porn in the middle of the night.
Muffin.
I mean, that being said, we went on a bit of a journey here. I'm going to cut all of this out.
Don't you dare.
But you know what? This is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. Everyone watches porn. Everyone will observe some freakier shit from time to time on the Pornhub black holes you get on with the suggested videos.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to be my time, and I just happened to broadcast it publicly to the world. Oh! Another time, I'm like early. Remember Justin TV?
Yes. Back in the day.
Can you explain it?
Hitbox, right?
Yes. Can you explain like the kind of setup for it? Do you know the deal for it?
I do not remember.
What is it?
Okay, it's like I might be a little wrong. No, I'm 100% right. I'm never wrong. This is ROFLcast after all. So Justin TV, there's this guy named like iJustin or something, or Justin TV, and he decided to live stream his life 24/7 for a year, having sex with his girlfriend, jerking off, taking showers, shitting, all that stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was great. His girlfriend's cute too. They didn't fuck very often though, which is weird.
They've probably been dating for a while.
What does that matter? Why is that a
How
thing?
big were his shits? How big were his shits?
It shouldn't be, but it is.
He didn't look.
Oh.
You didn't look at his shit.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, like, it was like
How
transparent.
do you know if you're healthy or not?
It was transparent, but it wasn't like expletive, you know? Anyway, he might have shut it off from time to time, but that was like kind of the deal of it. So other people wanted to do it, so he started up his own network, Justin.tv. So I started doing that for a little bit, just like live streaming, and I had my camera on in my dorm, and I was reviewing snacks, and yeah, and like so a bunch of girls from our university were watching it because I was talking about it to somebody in class. They overheard, so I gave them a link, blah blah blah. And when I was done, I exited the window, but the window minimized; it didn't close. So I got up and I started changing, and I have. This is widely documented, not that widely, but it is notably documented, and it's documented by people that hate me, so you know for a fact that they wouldn't lie. But I have a magnificent dick. It is truly spectacular. People wonder when they look at me.
Who hates you that knows what your dick looks like?
Every girl I've ever dated. Yeah.
Everyone who's had it inside.
Everyone who's touched it, and definitely, it's a bit like Midas. Instead of turning to gold, your emotions for me go away. So actually, that's not true. The opposite is true, and it becomes like really problematic. It's like there's cocaine in my penis, and certain people get addicted to it.
Hey, that's what my friend and I call our vaginas.
Heroin pussies?
Because everyone gets addicted. It's a thing.
Oh, so you call your pussies heroin because the heroin gets addicted.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of hair there, like a large, massive curly
I don't know about
bush.
her, but not on mine.
No, yours is obviously shaved into a mohawk that it protrudes 3.5 feet.
I wish I had a mohawk.
Could you imagine? That is actually a kind of a genius idea, like a faux hawk on your pussy.
That'd be, like crazy.
It'd be like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of a great idea. Dye your pussy blue, spike it. Looks great. What the fuck were we talking about?
Styling gel inside.
Your penis being saw by university people.
Anyway, yeah. So I have a great dick.
Being saw.
people when they see me wonder, it's like, where do you get all your self-confidence from? And then they sleep with me and they're like, oh, that's where. But I have like literally nothing else going for me. Also, I'm a grower, not a shower. So my limp dick, we talked about this, how it goes inside my body when it's too cold, like a poorly made fountain. Yeah, we talked about this.
It gets inverted. It's great.
So my room was a little breezy. Homeboy was hiding.
Excuses.
Let's just say homeboy was hiding. And, King Achilles over here had to change his pants. Well, cute girls in my class for sure saw my limp dick. For sure were not impressed by it. And were laughing at me rest of the semester sitting behind me in math class. But thankfully, they all failed because it was a math class and they're girls. But I had the last laugh.
Wait, why'd you have to change your pants?
That's
the part I don't understand.
Because
not
when I was
his pants, but
when I was reviewing snacks,
underwear as well.
When I was reviewing snacks, I may have spilt all over myself, and at that time, I did not wear underwear.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Yeah. So, how else have I embarrassed myself over the years live streaming? Oh, every podcast I've ever done.
If you were smarter, you would have realized what had happened, gone back the next day with a fully erect penis to make up for that, and then they would never laugh at you again.
Yeah, but I can't be like, hey guys, tune in tomorrow for the live stream, because
or you just do it every day until they do
tune in. Math class caring enough to watch.
I don't know, actually. I think it was the early days of streaming, and they hadn't really heard of anyone that they knew doing it before. and I think it kind of caught their attention. Also, I was super hot in uni, so there's that. I grew out of it though, thankfully, because that was so stressful being attractive. So I'm glad that
know what that's like.
because you were born that way and you dealt with it your whole life.
Born ugly.
You just said you took a university math course and that you were super attractive at university. Those aren't compatible facts.
Okay, by attractive, I mean attractive for a math major, which makes me a Fort McMurray 6. So it's not great. I'll be honest. But
isn't that a normal world like 3?
It is, but you know what? By not being Asian, that immediately puts me from a 4 to an 8 because it's exotic at that point. Like, oh, you're not Chinese. You don't smell like rice. Well, you do smell like rice, but it's a curry rice. It's a little different than what they smell like.
That's why I went into
theater,
because there were no Asians.
That's why you went where?
That's why I went to the theater because there were no Asians.
Like school-wise, or just?
Yes.
Oh, you took theater in school.
Yes.
Same.
Why do you think he's an unemployed loser? Of course, he took theater in school.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he took sociology. I don't know.
Actually, with sociology, you can get a permit to kill yourself, so that would take care of that problem.
I have a Bachelor of Arts degree, and all I do is cry on that. It catches the tears nicely.
You can spend a year and get an education degree, and then end up making like $80,000 a year if you put your ass into it.
Or I could go back and just get my master's and teach adults and not tiny devils.
That's the thing. Like, why do people go get their masters? They can teach other people to get their masters. It's a weird, like, self-fulfilling, like, I don't know. I hate it.
Well, I would get my master's because I could teach at a college university level. Whereas if I just went back and wanted to teach drama, I can't teach high school kids because I would murder them all. They're assholes.
That is very true. Also, high school teachers, slutty. They sleep with their kids. Sex freaks. No.
Ugh.
Nice.
I mean, who here hasn't slept with a drama teacher in high school?
In our high school?
In a high school, I'll just say that. Okay. So
anyways,
this is a weird one. Do you guys remember the first time you ever felt attractive? Me neither. No.
Well, that's honestly, even as an honest question to answer, that's tough because other people may have been attracted to you, but you didn't know you were attractive at that point. So it's like,
oh no, sorry, that's a misnomer. I've never been attractive in my life.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, have other people? Do you remember the first time another person has made you feel attractive?
Oh, if somebody's made me feel attractive, yes.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us that story?
No.
Okay. Ray, how about you, buddy?
I mean,
okay. We'll just stay here in silence for an hour.
Lots of girls, but I've never felt attractive with most of them.
Well, I mean, you date shitty girls. You dated one girl that was so bad she became a boy.
Let's not talk about that.
I love you, buddy, and I mean no offense. Except the only reason I say that was to hurt you personally.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I mean, look, listen.
Multiple girls who have become boys.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Having a vagina probably swayed them over. Like, yeah, I do like this. You know what? It's not as bad as Shane's ex-girlfriends because they die.
Oh.
You're such a terrible person.
No, it's funny because she actually died.
It's not funny at all.
Oh my god.
He put her in the overhead bin.
Oh, that's what happened. That's why you can't listen, honey, we can only afford one.
I'm out. I am out. Bye.
So there's this article I read on Vice that was talking about men who travel in first class while their wives travel in coach. And apparently it's very common. Which I think is really gross, right? You either both get it or you don't both get it. Is everyone on the same page here?
Wait, what?
So
like they don't travel in the same class.
No. So the man would take first class and the woman would sit in coach. Because usually the man is traveling for business and he gets that accommodated for. And then the woman has to buy the ticket out of the family budget. So they don't want to spend the extra money to put her in first class. And this is a very, very common thing. Well, because sometimes people travel with their wives. Like, my dad would travel with my mom a lot. And sometimes he would get bumped up to first class, or he would get travel first class via the company. And, for a first class ticket to across the ocean, it's like $14,000-$15,000, right? Like, it's not a cheap investment. So what my dad would do,
Investment.
well, I mean, you're investing in your travel. Like, an enjoyable travel is worth it a lot. So my dad is really good about this, that if he gets it one way, he'll give it to my mom on the way back, or, vice versa or whatever.
Aw.
Yeah.
What happened to
But-
you? Your
but,
parents
like,
seem so
I
nice.
They're
I
pretty
just
cool.
don't understand because, like, the company would only, like, comp you for the business time you are there. They're not gonna, like, say, include extra days.
Yeah, so
for
what
you
they
to
do
go
is
on
usually...
vacation.
My work does.
Yeah, so what a lot of works will do, like when I travel for work, what they'll do is they'll send me there and I'll be like, okay, well, I want to take like 3 days off on top of the weekend so I can spend 5 days there, just book my flight back for 5 days later. So I have to find my own accommodations. I have to return my car rental, which kind of sucks. But usually what I can do is I can extend it as long as I can swap my credit card, and I can usually still get the business rate, so it's not as bad. But yeah, it's not uncommon to attach on a vacation. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the men and women separating themselves on the flights. So apparently that's a pretty common thing to do. In my opinion, I would say just travel with the person and coach if you can't afford it, right? Is that not reasonable to say?
Travel in coach, and when your company be happy, you're saving money, and that
They don't
would
give a
increase your
shit.
trip budget for other shit.
No,
They usually don't work like that. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of businesses don't.
Too
in my
nice thing they don't
experience.
care.
Mm-hmm. Well, like that was I had a international flight for work once, and I was saying like, hey, I have a connection through here. Could I leave a day early and connect and like stay a day there and then come over the next day? I couldn't fly first class that way, but I could fly coach, and that would save the company money. And like, nope, we can only do it this way. It's how we expense it. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll take a first class flight. I don't give a fuck. But like, it was just kind of one of the weirder things. I actually don't remember what the point was. What were we talking about before this?
At what
Men
point?
flying in first class and
Yeah.
women.
But
flying-
before that, what were we talking about before that? Because that tied into my previous point. What I'm
Your
I don't know.
dick.
You were talking about
your
people's
dick,
girlfriends. No.
girlfriends.
Then we talked about my dick. Then we talked about your girlfriends.
You're talking about Shane.
Shane's girlfriend dying because that was funny.
And I said you're the
Oh, I said
worst.
overhead bin, and then you were reminded of that story.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That's terrible.
I just think that's
Worst
such a
segue ever.
yeah. Okay,
No. Let's dial it back half an hour. What you wanted to ask was what would I want to talk about on my own show. That's where this all started, actually.
all right. That'll be a good way to wrap up our Uncut. We'll circle back around to what our Uncut is trying to build you a podcast, and all we did was talk about how I've embarrassed myself over the years.
It was great. I enjoyed this one.
Oh, the first time you felt attractive.
Oh,
Yes,
Um,
yes, that is. I
never.
don't know how we got to that.
Oh
but...
no, my current girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. What does she
said
do?
I was, she said
Oh,
I was very attractive.
So
She said
you say you had
I was asking her if she preferred clean shaven or not, and she said I was attractive either way.
oh, that's nice. That's nice to
And
hear.
she calls me handsome when I send her a selfie when she asks for a selfie.
That's really cute. I'm glad that you have that. I wonder what that would be like.
who knows, man? Who knows?
You should cover a subject you're not very good at. Let me tell you the first time I felt attractive. It was never. But also
Good for you.
we went on a high school trip. So I wasn't in drama, but one of my friends was in drama. Actually, no. In grade 9, I took drama just because I wanted to meet girls, and I read in Maxim that's a good way to meet girls. And
True, it is a good way to meet girls.
I
Unfortunately,
think I
half of
read
them
that
will be
same
lesbian.
one.
oh yeah, the one with J-Lo on the cover. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Ray. What were you saying, bud?
That is a good way to meet girls, but half of them will be lesbians.
Is that true? I didn't run into that, but we were in grade 9, so they
No,
probably
not
have
in
figured it
our
out.
school.
Yeah. We didn't have
We had,
lesbians where we're from, though. We had one gay guy, and everyone knew.
No, we had one
I
lesbian.
met in university.
Oh,
Oh,
everyone's like half in university though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I fucked a dude in university. I'm not gay. I fuck dudes now. Still not gay.
Like actually or metaphorically?
I'm so straight that I will hump a dude like dogs do to each other just for dominance.
Or like in female wrestling when she rubs her snatch in another chick's face.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do that.
Yeah. It's a power move. And they get
Ew.
real stinky too. They eat a lot of olives.
And they're sweaty.
That's
They
why
drink a lot of dairy.
that's why Greek chicks are on this odd verge of being like crazy hot, but just like almost a dude. You know what I mean? They're hairy, they have strong features, they're toned. It's kind of weird. Like they're on this like weird balancing act of like either sexy or they go over the line, they just fall off into like you look like a fucking dude. But all their pussies are rank. The hottest Greek girl ever has a pussy that smells like olive oil that has been left in the sun mixed with mayonnaise.
Oh, why'd you have to put mayonnaise in there?
Because and you need the
So
egg to rot.
gross.
Because
Miracle Whip or Japanese mayonnaise.
like
No.
Japanese mayo, the stuff that will actually rot and attract flies, not that super preserved shit that never goes bad.
It's full of sugar.
Yeah. Just because I was thinking about it, like if you leave olive oil outside, you just get like hot olive oil. It sounds delicious. Like it's not a good analogy. You gotta mix it up with something. Yeah, and then I was kind of doing my research because Lebanese girls, you would think their pussies are really smelly, but they're not as smelly, surprisingly. Although their men are super smelly, it's a weird dichotomy. Either way, I think the biggest difference is the olives. The actual raw olives is what makes Greek girls the smelliest pussy of the entire kingdom of Europe.
I would like to be in your brain for a day because the tangents you go off on that have nothing to do with what you're talking about are absolutely amazing.
I've never been there. So once you find directions there, you let me know because I am trying to figure it
Like, how
out.
did you get there from talking about drama, trips, and
So
feeling
are you
attractive?
saying-
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Are you saying if I just
'cause I
drop
fucked a
some
Greek girl,
lettuce
sure.
and feta into a Greek girl's
Ah.
pussy, I will get a good salad?
Yeah, basically. You can wipe pita on a Greek girl's pussy and it'll marinate it like a donair. Yeah, no,
Interesting.
You know, yeah, you did. If you get
Now, how do I start a
No.
business plan based around this?
you know what? If you get a Greek girl wet enough, you can just hold a frying pan under her pussy and olive oil will drip out of it.
I just need to say,
And
it
that's
takes a
how
lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to gross me out, and you have accomplished that. So congratulations.
This grosses you out? Olive oil coming from someone's pussy?
The pita bread thing.
You know what's that was a no why the pity bed one was great because you're picturing the girl from My Big Fat Greek Wedding just taking a bunch of fucking pitas.
I've never seen that movie.
Is
Really?
she fat?
She's very fat.
Huh.
She is one of the chicks that is on the other side of like the too manly, like the nose is too big, the ears are too big, the jawline is too strong, and then her sister is an example of someone who's on the other side of that. But Greek women, wonderful. I hooked up with a Greek chick on this trip. That's where I got on this tangent. Horrible pussy though. So we went down for this trip, and like and Kayla can attest to this, there was like a handful of brown people in our high school. I was the only one in my grade that was colored. So when I first came to Canada and I was going to school, they put me in.
Hold up 1 second.
Yeah.
Your high school took you overseas?
No, we went on a trip. There was a Greek girl. She's from Greece. She came to Canada.
Oh, I thought you went to Greece.
No,
They
we
did
went
have trips where you could go to like Morocco and Thailand and shit though. Our school.
for drama club.
No, for a travel club.
That's the fuck. Okay, so here's the gayest thing about travel club: you can't drink, you can't party, and your curfew's 9. No thanks.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
was gonna go and then I was like, fuck this.
Yeah. Also, it's
And
way
then-
too expensive. So
Yeah.
I was actually saving for travel club, and then the girl I was dating in high school, we broke up. So I used that money to go to Europe. Had a way better time. Way better time. Yeah, and actually, like everyone who was like, "Oh yeah, we went to France for band, and we didn't get to like do anything. We didn't get to see the Eiffel Tower. We just like did like boring shit all day and had to eat at shitty like places and stuff." I was like, I did whatever the fuck I wanted, and I spent less money, so fuck you. Anyway,
That's
so
weird though. I didn't do I did drama like grade 10 on. I never did it in grade 9, and from 10 on, you didn't get to do anything cool.
well, it wasn't drama club that traveled; it was band and travel club, right?
No, but you're saying you guys went on a trip. Like,
Well,
didn't you-
this is for the like you must have been part of this. There was like these plays that we would do. I don't remember what they called them, like short plays. You can go to Edmonton and like compete.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was supposed to be in one, and then I dropped out because
You were supposed to be in the one I was in.
The what about?
What
I was supposed to be some
replace her?
tough chick.
Is a murder mystery one with Michelle and those guys?
Yes.
Yes,
but I
that-
quit because she was a bitch. No, she hated me because the guy she was in love with, she thought was in love with me, and she was just being
Who,
really
me?
mean to me. So I was like, I'm not doing this.
Wait, then
What?
who'd you replace Kayla with?
Me.
She replaced no. Michelle replaced me.
Yeah, Michelle. Well, she was director, right, or something.
Yeah, and then she replaced me.
Yeah, she's like, "I will star."
I think I showed up to like 2 rehersals though. Like
I'm
let's be
pretty
real,
sure
I
she
was
listens
busy
to
getting
this.
Fucking drunk.
So you better watch your fucking tone. We're cool.
What?
Me and Michelle are cool. We talk. So I'm on this trip. Being one of the only brown people from like a very remote Canadian northern town where there's no brown people, like people look at you like a curiosity. You're not like an exotic treat that's kind of sprinkled in. They're just like, that is so different. It's weird. It's almost like if someone like in the States saw someone who's fucking blue skinned, because that was how weird it was for them. Because every person I ever met in Fort McMurray asked me the same question. They never said hello to me. No one ever was like, hey, how's it going? They're always like, oh, what are you? That was the first thing they ever said to me. Everyone.
I just never talked to you.
Yeah, we talked. We talked about. I talked to the back of your head. Oh, by the way, I was listening to earlier podcast, and you said you had black friends. Your black friend's my cousin. Don't act like you got some fucking strong base here. Your black friend's my cousin.
Cool. Hello.
She's
in
not
Toronto.
pulling from a diverse pool of people.
Yeah, I know.
Murray, I didn't really have a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, to be fair, you were friends with the one black chick in your school, which kudos, congratulations.
You're like my
I
postman.
love her.
But-
She's my favorite person ever.
Yeah, but you pulled her out like a token. We were like, I had black friends in high school, and I was like thinking about it later. I'm like, bitch, that was my cousin. That ain't fair. That's
say
my
high
black
school?
friend. It doesn't matter. Do you have more now?
Yeah.
God, she ruined you. Just takes one.
Yeah,
And the whole neighborhood's gone.
though. Kayla's including you now.
She can only include half of me.
True.
Yeah, it's the half that doesn't want to
What's
work.
half of 3/5?
What the fuck?
3/10. 3/10.
Okay.
That's how much of a vote I get. Oh my god. There's some racism deep cuts. We're so racist. We're like
You
reference.
are?
Oh, me, Raymond's the most racist person here, and I hate Chinese people.
I'm just
You
pointing
know,
out.
Ray.
I'm just pointing out race exists.
Yeah,
And we
no,
should all
I got it.
Remember that every second of every day.
Oh my god.
You should be constantly reminded.
Yeah, but you're only reminding
law.
people of the black race, which reminds me of a stereotype about how Chinese people hate black people. And that's what shows that Chinese people are the most racist, and that's why I hate fucking Chinese people.
Actually, they don't hate black people. They're afraid of black people.
As they should be. You know why? Because there's no Chinese players in fucking NFL. Alright? There's no Chinese champions of the UFC. They're all black. There's a reason why we're scared of them.
There
Because
was
they had to.
Yao Ming in basketball.
Yeah, but actually Yao Ming's pretty good. But there's taller guys that played ball better than Yao Ming. He was really more famous because he was tall. But he actually wasn't a bad player. He actually gets shit on a lot, but he wasn't that bad.
Well, it's because his first game he tripped over his shoes.
Yeah, because they're size 18. Yeah, like he has to stand at half court to turn around. Like his shoes are so fucking long. Notice his foot is like one of those long things that knocks people over. Like a really long foot. That's what it's like. Chinese. You know how much rice it takes to make a Yao Ming?
2 rice?
2 rice?
Rices?
2 rices. You know the old saying.
Grains of rice.
Do you know the old? You know the old saying, man. Two wrongs don't make a rice. All right.
Yep.
So we were at this. Back to the story. We're at this tournament in Edmonton, and I guess I shouldn't have said the city. So at that place, it's like they have brown people there. They're kind of used to them, and because I'm a unique mix of brown, I look a little different than the other ones, kind of. And in, where I'm from, they had no fucking idea what the difference was. Like, oh, you're brown? You're brown. Like, to the extent that there was a kid from Malaysia, a kid from Guyana, and a kid from, his parents were from the UK. He wasn't even from the UK. He was born in fucking our hometown. And his parents were just British. And they stuck us all in the back of the class together. Because like, you guys will have so much in common. The Malaysian kid's like yabbering away in some foreign language. I'm like, I'm from the Caribbean. This motherfucker's Guyanese, which is our mortal goddamn enemies. And this guy's British. He took over all 3 of our countries. Like, what are you doing?
Hope that wasn't history class.
No, it was just, we were young. Like, it was like grade school. But we all became fast friends. And because people couldn't tell the difference. Like, there was another differently abled kid who was, Pakistani or South Indian. And so we're different races, but people thought we were related because we were both brown, although he was like 10 times darker than I was. It was one of those things. They couldn't tell the difference, right? So for me, I was an exotic treat. To them, they were used to seeing a very certain type of brown, and when they saw my smooth caramel ass roll into that joint with my blue contacts and spiked up Caesar haircut, I got some love. I got a couple notes. I got a dude whistle at me during the performance, and a couple people clap when he whistled during my one line in the play, which really upset me. But it was the first time that I felt beautiful. And then later, when we were talking about it, my friend Kevin convinced me. He's like, "Oh no, they weren't hitting on you. They're mocking you." I was like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, no, they obviously aren't attracted to you. They're mocking you. Those girls are making fun of you." So I burn all those papers and then put out the fire with my tears. And one girl later, years later, finds me on Facebook. And she's like, "I don't know if you remember me, but in like high school, you just play." And I was like, "Yeah, well, it was like when Facebook first started. So it was a while later." And we had a mutual friend.
So creepy.
We had a mutual friend, right? And so, well, I called her on the phone. We talked a little bit. And then
it's not creepy of a girl to do it. It's just thirsty of a girl to do it.
No, it's still creepy. If a girl tracks you down without knowing anything about you, that's fucking creepy.
Well, she knew a bit about me because we met up with them. We talked. We hung out. And like, that's how I was getting those notes and stuff past. I mean, we talked on the phone once before I had my confidence shatter. She's like, "Yeah, we were like super into you. Like all of us were like, oh, who's going to date this one? But you just like ghosted all of us. And it was kind of weird. Like, why are you so rude to all of us?" And I was like, "I thought you were mocking me." It's like, "That's stupid." And I was like, "Well, yeah, now in hindsight, I realize it's kind of stupid, but god damn it if I wasn't an insecure teenager." So the one time the only time girls have ever been like, "Hey, that's the guy," was that one time in my life. That one instant, this weird cross section where I was like 16 and a half. I was just coming off of hockey, playing a lot of volleyball.
I have a similar story.
And I had it fucking ruined. Go on. Oh, so sorry. One last note to that. Because of Kevin, fuck you, Kevin. I slept with 2 girls that night in their bed. Didn't put a goddamn move on anyone because I had no fucking confidence. We're all drinking, having a good time. No move. Huh?
Because of Kevin?
Because of Kevin. One of the girls was Michelle. Oh man. So yeah, that's the end of my story.
I could just see Kevin doing that. That's the best part.
Yeah. So the one time that I had the opportunity to get laid, or be felt loved or attractive to anyone, in that one weird instance, was robbed of me, and I'll never get it back.
Well,
Women.
I mean, look at it this way: you didn't get anyone pregnant, so yay.
Yet. Ray, your turn.
In grade 9, the girls in my class started acting if I was really cool, but they were doing it out of pity. I later realized years later.
Oh, that's so horrible.
No, so they built me up as being super cool like the whole year, but then I realized, oh, it's because they feel bad.
Maybe, but that's still like
No, it was like.
But you know what? I'm having a hard time determining if I'm mad at them or actually think that's really sweet.
I don't know how to feel about it. I'm just like, that's.
Yeah, I know. Hey, when you're on the receiving end of that, it's like from the outside, it's like, oh, that's so nice. I mean, someone who didn't feel included. But on the outside, it's like, you did, but you didn't. It wasn't sincere. I would have rather you just like me for me, But listen, man, I've been getting pity laid my whole life. You just got to take it where you can get it.
Fun.
And you know what's great?
Well, that's why we have Kayla on here.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you pitying me or am I pitying you?
I
Because
don't
it could
know.
go either way.
I think it should go both ways, and that's
At this point in my
Kayla, when
life,
was
it could go either way.
Kayla, when was the first time someone made you feel attracted?
yeah. Come on, we all shared.
I can't think of like a specific instance. I mean,
It's because people are making you feel pretty your whole life.
I could
Yeah.
say the first time I felt unattractive, but
I do actually. Let me start with mine. I came out of the womb, and then it just continued
Christian.
until like 45 minutes while I was 16 and a half, and then never again.
Well, I guess like the first time I felt super attractive was when the guy I dated in high school was interested in me because he was way cooler than I was, and I was just like, oh,
I
must
hate
be something.
I hate that
I was a
whole. Yeah, but no, you weren't.
I know, but I felt like I was. Everyone tells me I wasn't, but I was like, I didn't hang out with popular people. I don't understand.
But you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I also wasn't an asshole. I was nice to everybody.
Yeah,
I
that's
tried
like
to be, at least.
the most beneficial thing you can have is just like really not caring. And
That's
that's
what
yeah. Go ahead.
that's what somebody told me once. They're like, the reason why everybody thought you were popular in high school is because you talked to everybody. And I was like, that's kind of a cunt.
Yeah, I don't know how
Not
people felt
rocket
about me
science.
because I just never asked. And if anyone brings up high school, I'd be like, I don't remember anything from then, so just stop talking because it's kind of
Just like-
useless.
I hung out with the stoners. What do people talk about?
You know what? Fucking to this day, like I left fucking high school 10 years ago. To this goddamn day, I get my buddies when we're going out or whatever. It's like, oh, we're gonna meet up with so and so. You remember this guy from then? I'm like, no, I don't remember anyone I met 3 times fucking 10 years ago. Okay, I don't remember anyone saying. I don't remember my teacher. I don't remember my principal saying. I don't remember anything. I blocked it. I didn't block it out. I just don't remember because I've done so much since then. I've met more people since high school than I did in high school. You know, that was only yeah.
Do you ever have moments where like somebody pops up and you're like, I totally forgot that person existed? Because that's been happening to me a lot lately.
I had a conversation today. That a girl messaged me and she was like, yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, you existed.
You were
like,
a person in my life
yeah.
at one point. That's
Yeah.
weird though.
It
You're like, oh,
is
shit.
weird.
Like you could just completely forget about them. They're like not in your head at all.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm like that for a lot of people.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. But there's also really uncomfortable moments, like if you're ever at a party that there's going to be, you know, some Fort Mac people around, and then like people like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, what have you been up to? And they remember you completely. Because like, you know, to be fair, if you're the only brown person and you have a name that's memorable, that's a little bit easier to remember than if you're just a random white guy named Jeff, you know?
Well, it's like when you first talked to me and I had to pretend to remember who you were.
Oh, he had to pretend to remember who you were because white bitches be dime a dozen.
True that. Especially in Fort McMurray. No, wait, that's white men. My bad.
Oh yeah.
No, I remembered you. I'm just being a cunt.
It doesn't really matter if you did. If you didn't remember me, that would be totally fair because you were like best friends with my cousin and we were in classes together, so that'd be totally fine.
But I honestly did not realize that you guys were related until like a little while ago.
Oh, you decide to not be racist. That's
yeah, that's really flattering.
I didn't mean to.
That's hilarious. You just thought I'd call her cuz because I was like a Native American supporter, like hello cousin. Hey there, cousin.
When did you ever call her cousin that I would know? I
never called her Amanda. I just called her cuz.
maybe she thought you really liked Lilo and Stitch.
I've never seen that movie. Was that movie
I've
Moana?
never seen it either.
Was that movie just Moana?
No, that movie is
E.T. with an alien?
yeah. Wait, E.T. already had an alien.
Oh no, he wasn't. That was just an.
Whoa.
Actually, here's the kind of the sad thing. E.T. deleted scene. Turns out that was an old homeless guy that did a ton of crack, and then he accidentally gave the kids crack, and then they saw the lights as well. That's all that happened. He was all shriveled up because of that.
Farrah Fawcett.
It was Farrah Fawcett in 2018 with no makeup.
Good lord.
So since Kayla can't ever feel like she's been pretty, or no guy has done a good enough job to make her feel pretty, I guess we can go back and wrap up on the thing we're supposed to start on. Hey Ray, you should just do cover songs of like really obscure old Japanese songs.
I can't sing.
This is even funnier. I can't sing. I sing all the time.
I can't sing either.
But
I
I
don't
don't
sing
want to
all
be
the time.
known for doing something bad intentionally.
Well, there goes my life's work.
Yeah, whoa. What do you think we're doing now? People are listening to this because it's good. They're listening to this because we're 3 fucking train wrecks trying to look like normal people.
Oh, so true.
I am an
Not even
emotional
sad, it's that-
wreck right now. I am dying inside.
Well, maybe a gimmick would be fine because it's not like I have anything unique to actually talk about.
What the fuck are you talking about? You have a unique perspective on everything, you goddamn robot.
But I can't find a unique subject there.
You just need a theme. You don't need a subject. You just need a theme. How about you come up with solutions for answers people no one have thought of?
That's the vaguest shit ever. Like on Yahoo Answers.
Yeah, that's the podcast. It's Yahoo Answers. Raymond answer, and you have to answer even if you don't know. You have to guess.
Whoa.
That could be hilarious.
I tried to do that in high school journalism. I tried to run a column like that, but then no one actually submitted anything, so I had to make up as if people had submitted stuff and then answer it myself. So
that's even funnier.
Fabrication.
You should do Ray's mailbag, and you'll get no letters. You're just making up mail. No, you should do Ray's mailbag and answer other people's fan mail.
If you're not gonna do that, I want to.
Give thirsty fans life advice. Oh man.
Just take the
I don't have
YouTube
access
comment
to
section
anyone
and just read it
else.
out loud as like a story.
You know what? Get Justin Timberlake songs and redub them with YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I don't know any Justin Timberlake songs. What would be
Cry
example?
me a river.
I need you to say something, say something.
Nope,
What song
haven't
is
heard of it.
that?
And instead you can be like, you're a faggot, you're a faggot, you're a faggot, you're a
Drink
faggot.
You gotta throw drink bleach in there somewhere.
Why did you upload this? I should put it on our cringe.
That seems mean. I don't want to do mean things.
YouTube is mean.
Yeah, what the
Oh.
fuck you think?
You think this is a game?
Yeah, you want to be nice on the internet, motherfucker? I'm not encouraging that.
I want to be cheeky, not mean.
I want you to hurt people. I want you to trigger them. My goal when I started ROFLcast was to offend someone so badly they commit suicide, and then I'm ending the podcast. It's over. I know what I am like. I'm like that girl that was texting that guy to get back in the car. Did you guys see that?
What? No.
Okay, so there's this like 17-year-old girl.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right, I'm going to recap for listeners in case they don't know.
Yeah.
So a 17-year-old girl, or maybe 16, and she meets this guy a few weeks ago, and he is there's like a weird giraffe creature bouncing around in my face right now, and I want to kill myself. And if it
What?
gets any near me, I'll die. What are you talking about? Is that a weird tangent that doesn't make sense to what I'm saying? How weird for me!
I thought it was part of the story.
Are you on drugs?
Yeah. What were you talking about?
Some girl
Rihanna?
just texted.
So she met this guy a few weeks ago. They became like boyfriend and girlfriend, in quotations because there's no physical stuff yet. And she was texting him because he said that he was suicidal, and she was like egging him on. So she just got convicted of of murder, I guess, and now she's in jail, or she's going to jail. And so when the kid was like, she was constantly egging him on, be like, "Hey, are you gonna do it? People keep saying that you keep saying you're gonna do it, but people don't think you're gonna do it. You have to follow through with things, stuff like that, like stuff that my ex, not the old one, she used to say that type of shit to me." And
Wow.
I know she was dark. Don't worry, guys, she's a teacher.
Beat her.
She's only shaping the minds of your children right now.
Well, I mean,
but it was
why
like
it's so bad.
it was really aggressive stuff. And so he was finally kind of going through with it, and he gets out of the car and is like, "Oh, I can't do this." And she's like sitting there texting him, convincing him to get back in. Right? So it's caused a huge controversy because people were like, should she be blamed for this? She was obviously egging him on. She was trying to get him to do it. And then she created a fake alibi by texting her friend being like, "Oh, this guy's not responding. I don't know where he is. I'm so worried." While she's texting the guy, "No, you have to get back in the car. You have to kill yourself."
But like, how stupid do you have to be to not realize that they're gonna see the texts on his?
Well, she said before he died to delete all the texts, but that doesn't matter. If they want to find it, they'll find it.
For sure.
And so she texts her friend all the stuff to create her alibi, then later texts the same friend, I think it's my fault. I could have stopped him and I didn't. You stupid bitch. You could have got away with it. We could be together. This sounds like my perfect woman. Completely, like, dark-souled, evil to an invariable degree and encouraging people to do evil things. There's nothing and she's hot!
That play
Who hurt
of...
you?
That play of, I think it's my fault because I could have stopped it. That's trying to paint her in a better light. That's trying to paint herself. Oh, I feel so bad that this happened. That's what that's trying to do.
Yeah,
it's a clumsy play.
Yes, so she could get social media attention, essentially.
She's a sociopath.
Oh, my boyfriend killed himself. Everyone feel bad for me, blah, blah, blah. If that's the case and she was just doing it for attention, I'm not interested. Also, she's underage. I actually don't know if she's hot. I just said that, and then I realized that she was in high school, and I'm like, I should probably retract that because I was making a joke, and that was definitely the wrong joke to make. I do not stand by any relationships of anyone that's not half your age plus 7 if you're over 18. I guess she kind of falls in. Never mind. It doesn't really matter if she still works in the number. Anyway, if she's truly evil, then that's my girl. If she is just, doing it for attention, not what I want. So I hope that they do a psychological evaluation so I can find out the type of person she is. And hopefully she'll be ready to reveal what that is by the time she's ready to get out. Which is probably when I'll be ready to settle down.
What if she's an evil person who wants attention?
Ooh, good question. I've never thought about that. Because I like being evil, but from like the background. Like standing next to the cops and be like, hey, how'd that house catch on fire? And they're like, no one knows. The person was a mastermind.
In the knowledge it was you.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say, guys, is I am a known wanted serial killer. This is me. You know what this is? Oh my god. OJ,
Charles Manson didn't die. He was just reborn as a brown person.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, he died like well into my lifetime. Like
allegedly.
I was like 25 when he died, so I don't know. When he, oh my god, you threw me off now. You fucking asshole. That was a great joke, and I keep thinking about a brown fucking
Charles
Manson, yeah.
No, you're evil something.
I was about to say Charlie Kaufman, and I stopped myself. I'm like, that's not what I'm thinking of. Wrong guy. Although I like to think of myself as the brown. That's how I think of myself. I'm sure other people think of themselves that way. What was that movie where that couple was just like evil and they got off on each other being evil, like killing people? It was like a whole movie made around the first scene in Pulp Fiction. God, I can't remember what it was, but we should find out that. I mean, it's not like we're a movie podcast and should know these things, but I should definitely.
You're not explaining it well, so there's no way I can fucking help you. Who's in it? What's it about? Who did what?
I told you what it's about. People that are bad.
Two people.
Hold on. Yeah, no, hold on. Let me describe better.
Cruel Intentions?
There's a bad guy and a good guy. Cruel Intentions is an example of that movie. That's a great relationship. Although I think what started the stepsister incest porn trend, which is vitally disgusting because I have an ugly sister, is that movie. Because Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar doing things to
Natural Born Killers?
Yes, that was the movie. Thank you so much. Natural Born Killers. Yeah, with Woody Harrelson.
Wow, good.
Yeah, well done, Engineer Ray.
Fucking explanation.
That's actually incredible. That's incredible. I am fucking impressed, dude. Well done. You get one of these. When we have a soundboard that doesn't glitch out my sound next week, we'll.
Tarantino wrote the story.
Have we figured out what your podcast is about?
No, because I can't think of something to talk about, and
I just gave you 9. We gave you 9 golden examples. Kayla, you can think of one. Come on.
I lost all of them already. I didn't write any of them down.
You didn't write them down? This is literally your job, is to transcribe
things. All you have to do is listen back to this when it gets up. Hello.
Oh, so 2036. Okay.
I deserve that. Don't worry. I created templates for everything, so it gets edited a lot quicker now. And also the MP3s can come out a lot easier. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to talk about today? Kayla, didn't you have a news story you want to talk about, or do you want to say that for ROFLcast?
It's the Katy Perry thing. I don't know. Whichever.
Yeah, we'll say that for ROFLcast.
Okay. It's a big deal.
Is it?
It's not a big deal, but it's kind of a big deal. We'll talk about it.
Isn't Katy Perry like washed out?
Yes.
She's on the new American Idol now.
So she's washed up. Okay.
Ray, I'm gonna start singing a song, and you're going to have to figure out what it is before I stop. So the only way that I stop is that you figure out what this song is. You tell me who sang it, when it came out, and what it's called.
How many bars are you gonna
Left
sing?
out
I'm gonna keep singing until you get it.
Okay.
the whole song.
When do you want me to start? Tell me when you're ready.
Now.
Oh, me right now. Okay,
You
fine,
can't.
go.
You can't look up the lyrics. You can't Google anything. And I'm listening
Oh.
for your keyboard.
Oh.
This is how close you are to pop culture. So we're gonna see. Okay?
You do know I have a phone, right?
Yeah, but you can't Shazam it. I'm singing it. You can't Shazam that. And don't you use your phone?
cheat.
Got me
Don't be a
like,
pussy.
oh.
Is this
What
are
you want
restarting or
from
what?
me? What you want from me? I tried to buy your pretty heart. The price is too high. Baby, you got me like, oh. You love when I fall apart.
Pass.
So you can put me together and throw me against the wall. You got me like, oh. Don't you stop loving me. Don't quit loving me. Don't stop loving me. And I'm just fighting fire just to get close to you. Can we burn something, babe? And I'll run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain that's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and blue, but it fucks me so good and I can't get
Well, he said
enough.
the title of the
Must be love on the brain.
He said
And
the
it
title
keeps
of the past 5
cursing
seconds.
my name.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It matter what I do, I'm no good without you, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain. You keep loving me, yeah. Just love
This is why I should have been included in this game so I could stop this.
God, Ray, you can start Googling it.
I already told him what the title was.
I'm tired of being played like a violin. What do I gotta do to get in your motherfucking high? Feel like I.
Rihanna, Love on the Brain.
Yes! What year did it come out? You stop loving me. Don't quit loving me.
Later.
Don't stop loving me.
2016.
Thank you. And now you have to sing the rest of it. Just to get close to you. Can we burn something, babe? Now it's your part. Ready? I'll run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain. Where's your part? That's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and blue, but it fucks me so good and I can't get enough. Sing.
Must be love on the brain, yeah, and it keeps cursing.
Slow down.
My name. Oh,
My name.
My name.
No matter what I do. Keep going.
I'm no good without you, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the
Brain.
Beautiful. Well done. Oh, God. That
was the worst thing that has ever happened to me. And I've had a lot of shit happen to me in my
Oh
life,
my
let me tell you.
God. Have you dedicated yourself to a relationship and then have them abandon you without talking to you about it?
Yeah, actually.
Because I've done that a lot to women.
Not to me, motherfucker.
Yet. I can't wait for you to be my next ex-wife.
wish.
Thank you for listening to ROFLcast. That has been ROFLcast Uncut. I am at Achilles. She's at Kayla Quinn 09, and Ray is at Somanwriter. What did you guys think of my rendition of Rihanna's "Love on the Brain"?
Well, since I've not heard the original, I cannot say either way.
If you were to guess,
it's very accurate. It's they couldn't tell the difference probably if you went into the studio to record.
I think
probably the waveforms would be identical.
I think the waveforms. See,
a little bit of auto tune and you're good to go.
I sound so much like Rihanna that just like now talking that they're going to copyright notice this video for my cover of that song.
Absolutely.
Actually, they're going to take it down for crimes against humanity. That was real bad.
I'm just going to report it as soon as
I needed a vocal warm up. I needed one of those things that you plug your ear with so you can like hear yourself. I don't know.
Your finger.
Oh, is that what they're called?
And then cup your ear, and it does the same thing as whatever contraption you're trying to talk about.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that. I know nothing about anything. And that's why you listen to us. To find out. We should change the name of this podcast to Dill or No Dill. And then we should like do game shows where like farmers that are on the verge of forfeiture have to like try to win their farm back. The games are nearly impossible, and we just like all laugh and cheer as they lose, and we take their farms from them.
People don't care about farms anymore.
Sponsored by Monsanto. Thank you everyone so much for listening. Until next time, we remain podcasting.
Pew, pew.